If you have played multiple gacha games, you will find one common features among them, and that is the stamina system. Sometimes they are named differently and are a little bit different from one game to another, but they always serve the same purpose to prevent you from blasting through the game in one binge session. This can be quite annoying. So, what if we just remove them? Can we remove them? Let's discuss that in this video. Let's start with the basics. To remove the stamina system from gacha games, we first need to understand why it's there in the first place. The stamina system serves two purposes. Habitual formation does what its name suggests. The goal is to make playing the game a part of your daily life, even if you only log in for several minutes per day to do your dailies. If you didn't play the game today, that stamina is going to be capped and stop regenerating, which means it will take longer for you to grind materials to level up your characters to the maximum. And gacha game players take this matter very seriously. Some people set up timers on their phone to warn them when their stamina is going to cap. And I even heard some people got anxiety from just seeing these screenshots. Do let me know in the comment section down below if you're one of them. And even if you don't, it still feels wrong to let those stamina go to waste, isn't it? And that's exactly the point. Just like any other live service game, the stamina system encourages you to check in at least once per day to keep you around. Because the developers found out that players who don't play regularly will be more likely to quit and uninstall the game. And the players who play the game every day is more likely to buy various microtransactions. Of course, in practice, the stamina system is usually just one of many habitual formation features in gacha games. We still have daily missions, battle pass missions, and even daily logins on some occasion. So it feels like the stamina system is just redundant. And in fact, there are some gacha games that don't use stamina system at all. We'll talk about that later. The second purpose of stamina system is slowing down progression. This works differently depending on the types of gacha games. If your gacha game is a higher budget open world game, the stamina system usually only works to prevent you from infinitely grinding materials for character progressions. If your gacha game is a menu-based game, meaning that it doesn't have an overworld that you can explore like Arknights or Reverse 99, then the stamina system will also be used to prevent you from playing through the main story in one go. But both of them serves the same purpose, to limit the amount of content you can enjoy at a time. Gacha game developers need weeks or months to create new contents for the game, so they don't want you to speed through the game and get bored due to the lack of contents. It is better for them if you take it slow today and return tomorrow to continue where you left off. Because when you run out of content, then the only content left for you is just grinding for character progressions. But these two have limits before you get bored, and then you're more likely to quit the game. Higher budget gacha games like Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves can let you enjoy the main story without stamina because exploring the world itself is already an infinite playtime waster. And generally, they can make bigger contents in shorter times with more manpower and budgets. Meanwhile, menu-based gacha games usually have smaller teams that can only make smaller content. This is also why some of their events are time-gated. They would love to stretch any content they make until their next update. And if you're curious, other live service games like MMOs and first-person shooters don't need a stamina system because you are the content. Every multiplayer match is different, so you are the content that your enemy enjoys to beat up every single day. There is also a third and more cynical function of the stamina system, and that is monetization. Some stamina systems can be designed to annoy you so you can spend money to play more. But I'm pretty sure 99% of the players don't use their gacha currency to refresh their stamina. Most gacha games do give you a lot of free stamina refresh, so I will not go into details about this in this video. Now, back to the original question. Can we remove the stamina system from gacha games? From the purpose of habitual formation, we already established that we can easily replace the stamina system with other daily activities. But from the purpose of slowing down progression, this will be a tough challenge because the developers can't make enough content to keep the players entertained. The only solution is to make contents that have near infinite replayability, like in FPS multiplayer matches, or make each content take longer to consume, like gear grinding in MMO dungeons. The first solution is the reason why all gacha games will try to make roguelike modes as late-game content. Because roguelikes are practically infinite content generators. Every run is different, just like how every match in Call of Duty is different. In theory, a full roguelike gacha game will not need any stamina system, but then again, roguelikes also depend on novelty to keep players engaged. Without constant updates, even the best roguelike risks becoming repetitive. I doubt a pure gacha game roguelike will last 3 months before the players move on to the next gacha game in town, which means they also need to do the second solution. Of course, gacha games can also create a PvP multiplayer mode to achieve the same result. But from my observation, these multiplayer modes tend to get stale very quickly with the general player base. Again, due to the lack of updates and variety in the game mode itself, which leads to the same second solution. The second solution, however, is incompatible with the purpose of gacha games. Gacha game dailies are made for quick in and out. Most gacha games are just a light version of MMORPGs. You're not supposed to spend 3 hours coordinating with spreadsheets with 20 other players just for a chance to get a good gear. In gacha games, you just need to spend 1 minute in a dungeon to get the materials you need to level up your characters. But that doesn't mean some gacha games won't try to do that second solution. The only 2 gacha games I've ever played with no stamina system is Nikkei and Girls Frontline. And spoiler alert, it's not great! Making each content takes longer to consume usually boils down to limiting how many times the players can grind, a real-world timer, or a DPS check gating. This happens with Nikkei and Girls Frontline main story. Yes, you can keep going into the next chapter without stamina, but there will come a point where you just can't beat the enemy in the level. It's a DPS check, plain and simple. You need to wait for some resources to regenerate so you can level up your characters. So in a way, those leveling up resources are just stamina systems with extra stats. And then in Nikkei, you can grind gear because you only have 3 chances to get gear every day. And multiply that frustration by several times for Girls Frontline, because it has a gacha crafting system, which means you will most likely not get the characters you want for a cheap dummy link. And every combat consumes resources, which means there will be times where you can't get into the level because you don't have bullets. You have to wait for your logistics team to gather them several hours from now. And yes, that gacha crafting system also consumes the same resources. So, in both games, there are several days between each chapter in the main story where you can't progress through main story at all. You can only do your dailies and wait until your characters are properly leveled up. And that is how they make their content take longer to consume, which is terrible! I have yet to play a gacha game with no stamina system that works better than these two. I'd love to hear if you found one. Drop it in the comment section down below. For now, after 2 gacha games, I have reached the conclusion that the stamina system is just a necessary evil in gacha games. Without that stamina system, gacha game developers have to rely on artificial time gating or grind-heavy systems. Both will frustrate players even more than stamina caps. But that's just me. What do you think? Do you like stamina system? Has this video changed your view about stamina system somehow? Please do let me know in the comment section down below. I always reply to everyone in my comment section, and I would like to know if you have any ideas on how to better implement gacha games with no stamina system. This is my first video about game design in gacha games, so if you like it, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Usually I just stick to discussing story writing in gacha games, so if you want to continue watching, I recommend my essay video on why Silent Zone Zero is a master in environmental storytelling in gacha games. And with that, I think I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.